What's going on? My name is Catalin, I'm a nutrition coach, a personal trainer, and I have lost over 37 kgs in the past 21 months. And this is the first video of a 3-part series where I break down exactly how I lost the weight, how I'm keeping it off, and how you can apply it and lose weight yourself starting today. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the single most important part of the entire weight loss journey. And no, it's not about your diet, it's not about your workouts or your cardio. What we're going to talk about today is going to be your mindset. If you have ever watched any how to lose fat videos in the past, which I'm sure you have, most people jump right into telling you about how many calories you need to eat, what workouts to do, what kind of cardio to do. And don't get me wrong, that's super important and we're gonna get into that a bit later. But unless you are in the right mindset, it doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are with nutrition and with training. And I'm telling you this from experience because this 37 kgs that I lost is not actually my first rodeo. I've lost 25 kgs in the past, but I ended up gaining it all back and more. And while I knew exactly how to set up a calorie deficit or how to design a workout program or how much protein I need to eat to lose weight, it took me almost 3 years to finally commit to making a lifestyle change. So let me tell you now about my top 5 mindset shifts, which I want you to perfectly understand before you start a weight loss journey, during it and after. And by the way, I wrote this like this so you don't skip around and you actually pay attention to every single one of them because they're all super important. With that being said, number 1 is probably the most important one of the entire video and I really want you to see it, so I'm gonna talk about it first. It is, you cannot fuck this up. This one is the most important of the video. If you're gonna remember anything from this video, I want you to please listen to what I'm about to say. You cannot fuck this up. I don't care how many times you go above your calorie budget. I don't care how many times you go out with your friends, you get blackout drunk and you binge on kebabs. I don't care how many times you skip your workouts because you're too lazy to get up early and go train. It doesn't matter as long as you don't quit. I mean, look, it took me 3 years to finally do the right things, and then it took me almost 2 years to actually lose the weight I intended to. That's a total of 5 years. That's a long fucking time when you think about it. But you know what? I still did not quit. If I would have quit right now, 5 years later, I would be in the same exact spot as I was 5 years ago, but I'm not. Because I understood that I cannot fuck it up as long as I keep showing up and I don't quit. I'm telling you this because I want you to really print this in your brain and really think about it every single day, that as long as you don't give up, as long as you get right back on track, whether that's the next meal or whether that's the next week, you cannot fuck it up. It's impossible. I don't want you to punish yourself by starving the next day or doing a water fast or calling yourself a stupid idiot who's never gonna take off his shirt at the beach. None of that. As long as you don't quit, you cannot fuck it up. I promise. Point number 2, which you have probably heard before, but it's worth hearing again, is that motivation will not last. While this is a sad truth, it is a truth nonetheless. You cannot rely on motivation throughout your weight loss journey. Don't get me wrong, it's a great initial spark to kickstart your weight loss journey, but you cannot expect it to last. And I see this all the time with my clients. During the first month, they do everything right, they eat perfectly, they don't miss a single training session, they see huge weight loss dropped week after week after week, but then the second month comes and an event happens. They go out with their friends or with their family, they eat more than they intended, and the next day they wake up heavier and they just give up. And again, coming back to the first point, you cannot fuck this up as long as you don't give up. And this is why that point is the most important of this whole video. But nonetheless, back to motivation, you cannot rely on it. And it's not like you don't want to eat healthy anymore or you don't want to train anymore. But when you only focus on the end result, you're not gonna wake up day after day after day excited for what the day brings ahead, knowing that it's still gonna take you a very long time to get to your end goal. And that's what my problem was. I was too focused on the end result, and that's why it took me so long to finally commit to a diet and to lose weight, because I knew that I had to lose over 30 kgs, and just thinking about that, it was simply demotivating day after day after day. And that's what brings me to the next point, which is process goals instead of outcome goals. This is a very important distinction you have to understand, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose. Because when you want to lose weight, you probably have a target in mind. Let's say you want to lose 20 kgs in the next 6 months. This is what we call an outcome-oriented goal, which is cool, and you should have an outcome-oriented goal. But when your only focus is on the end result, that is actually counterproductive. Because for a very long period of time, there's gonna be a huge discrepancy between what your end target is and how much progress you're actually making. Think about it, you can be 100% accurate with your training, with your nutrition, with your cardio, every single day for a month. And in this scenario that I just gave, you would still have 5 months ahead of you. And that's why you keep getting demotivated. One way to fix that is to focus on process-oriented goals. If your outcome-oriented goal is to lose 20 kgs in the next 6 months, your process-oriented goals can be to wake up at 6 a.m. before you go to work so you can go to the gym, or eating protein and veggies at every single meal, or getting in bed by 9 p.m. so you can fall asleep by 10 p.m. These are exactly some of the goals I had for myself during my weight loss journey, and they are process-oriented, meaning that I can accomplish them every single day. And while you should still track your body weight and have a little audit with yourself every single month to make sure that you're making right progress, you should not focus on your weight every single day. What you should focus on is building these small, sustainable habits that stack up over time, over days and months, and that will lead you for sure to your outcome-oriented goal. And if you focus on this, you don't have to rely on motivation anymore. Because on days where you don't feel motivated and you feel like skipping the gym, you're still gonna wake up early and go to the gym because you know that's your goal for that day that you want to have accomplished. And most days than not, you're gonna do that goal. This mindset shift will make the whole process more enjoyable, whether it takes you 2 months to get to your goal or 20 months. Moving on to number 4, you're gonna have to set your environment for success. See, a lot of people think that weight loss is all about willpower. You just have to do what you have to do, you cannot make any excuses, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and if you don't do what you gotta do, then you simply don't want it enough. And while this isn't 100% false, it completely overlooks how your environment essentially decides the level of difficulty for your weight loss journey. Think about it. If your process-oriented goal is to eat 3 fruits per day, but in your cupboard you only have potato chips, what is gonna happen? I'll tell you what will happen. 9 times out of 10, you will go for the bag of chips and you will eat the entire thing. But it's not the willpower that's the problem, it's your environment. Because if your kitchen is full of junk food, or you never know what you're gonna eat for the next meal, or you go out every single weekend with your friends and then you stay on TikTok until 2 a.m. scrolling, yeah, your weight loss is gonna be 10 times harder than it needs to be. And I get it, some things are simply out of your control. If you have young kids, you cannot expect to have good quality sleep every single night. If you live with your parents or your significant other who don't have the same goals as you, there might be stuff in the house that's counterproductive to your goals. But still, this doesn't mean that you cannot make an effort to set your environment as best as possible with things that you actually have control over. Maybe you cannot completely remove junk food from the house, but you can make an effort to have some fruits available and some protein snacks all the time. Maybe you cannot anticipate what you're gonna eat for lunch, but you can at least prepare your dinners in advance. Maybe you're a student and you need to study until late, but you can at least not scroll on your phone when you're in bed. Focus on things that are under your control that will set you up for success. For me, the most impactful thing I did during my weight loss journey was to completely delete all food delivery apps from my phone, and I made a promise to myself that if I really want to eat something that's not in my house, I will make the effort to go to the restaurant and take it home and eat it. I would allow myself to eat it only if I would physically go there and grab it. And this made me think about it twice because I would have to get dressed, I would have to put my shoes on, leave the house, and most times than not, I would simply not go and stay on track with my meals. And I also meal prepped all my lunches and dinners every single weekend, which is something that I still do, as well as prepare my gym bag in the evening with my spare clothes, my gym towel, my water bottle, and so on, so that in the morning when I wake up, I just prepare myself, take my gym bag and go to the gym. Or if I really wanted to have some ice cream or some chips, instead of buying the full-size package, I would look for these small serving sizes that I would eat, get the taste out of my brain, and move on with my life. And these things, they add up. And the best you can set your environment, the most likely you are that you're gonna succeed with your weight loss journey. Finally, number 5, last point of the video, is that there are no good or bad foods. I was debating with myself whether I should put this under mindset or under nutrition, but I ended up putting it here under mindset because I truly believe that you will never have a healthy relationship with food until you're able to understand this concept that there are no good or bad foods. This is something that I have really struggled with, especially during my previous weight loss journeys, the one where I lost 25 kgs. My biggest struggle was with peanut butter, which is pretty typical for someone who's in the fitness industry, let's say. I would literally eat an entire jar of peanut butter in one sitting. I was only planning on eating, say, a tablespoon or something, but I would completely lose control over myself and eat the entire jar. And this ties into what so many people struggle with, which is having an all or nothing mentality. You tell yourself, for example, that you're no longer gonna eat pizza ever again. And somehow you end up in a situation where you do end up eating a slice of pizza. What happens? You think that you completely messed up. So instead of stopping at that one slice, you eat the entire pizza. Maybe you have also a couple of drinks. Maybe you have some dessert because you already fucked up and you never know when it's going to be the next time where you would be able to eat the foods that you're eating right now. So you're going to get it all out of your system right now, binge it, and develop a very negative relationship with food. And that's because when we label foods like pizza, burgers, peanut butter, ice cream, cookies, and so on as bad foods, it creates this anxiety and this guilt when we eventually end up eating them. And that really sucks, especially when you're in a social situation. Like, imagine going to your mom's birthday and instead of enjoying the moment and enjoying the company of your family, you keep thinking that later that day there's gonna be a birthday cake. And you know you struggle with eating cake. And so you keep thinking to yourself the entire day, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna have a little slice? And am I gonna say that my stomach hurts so I don't eat anything and I don't seem the weird person for not eating cake? What am I gonna do? Relax. It's okay. Take a deep breath and chill. You're gonna be fine. Nobody ever got fat from eating a bad meal. Just like nobody ever got skinny from eating a salad, nobody ever got fat from eating one meal. I need you to understand that no food is off limits. This is very important. No food is off limits. You are not forbidden from having pizza. You are not forbidden from having peanut butter or ice cream. You can have all of these foods and still lose weight. What you need to focus on is simply your portion size and ensuring that you're still following the habits that we talked about previously. The process-oriented goals. As long as you do that, you can eat literally whatever you want. And I know it's difficult to control your portion sizes, which brings me back to my point about setting your environment for success. See how everything ties in together. These are all super important, and that's why I want to talk about them before we even touch on calories and workout plans. Unless you get an understanding of this and you start applying it, you will not be successful with your weight loss. And again, speaking about the environment, what actually worked for me in my problem with peanut butter was to not have peanut butter for a while. I stopped having peanut butter, I think, for even a couple of years. I completely stopped having it. And during that entire time, I focused on building these sustainable habits. I focused on eating more calories. I focused on eating lots of fruits, lots of veggies, going to the gym, sleeping well, so on and so forth. Then I reintroduced peanut butter back into my diet, and now I can have a kilo of peanut butter in the house and I'm not gonna binge on it because I know I can have it and I'm in a good mind space when it comes to food. And during this entire time, I knew that peanut butter was not off limits. I knew I could still have it, not have to feel guilty about it, and just move on. So if you have a food you really struggle with, first of all, I'm very sorry about that. But second of all, you need to find what works for you. If you have a really bad relationship with it, like I did with peanut butter, it may actually be a good idea to stay away from that food for a while until you manage to develop these other habits. But just know that if you do end up eating that food, it's completely okay. You didn't fuck up your diet, you just have to move on. Or you can go the opposite route and have that food every single day. Let's say your food is chocolate. You can have one piece of chocolate every single day after dinner as a sweet treat, and it can become something that's actually part of your diet. It can become something that you look forward to. You have it every day, so you don't have to worry about excluding it. You don't have to worry about binging on it because you're allowing yourself to have it every single day, anytime you want. And if one day you eat more than you wanted to, that's fine. Remember that you're always one meal away from getting right back on track. And that's it. These are my top 5 mindset shifts that have allowed me to lose over 37 kgs, but most importantly, that have allowed me to change my perspective of weight loss and ensuring that I'm not gonna gain back all this weight again. And I really want you to think about this because I don't want you to lose all the weight that you want to lose but end up gaining it back in 6 months or 6 years from now, because that's not the point. The point is to lose weight and do it sustainably so you can keep it off for life. So I want you to think about this not just today but throughout your weight loss journey, especially the first point that we have already talked about, because there are going to be lots of moments where you feel like giving up. There's going to be lots of up and downs, lots of mood swings, lots of things going on. Life will happen, you will go on vacation, you will gain back 5 kgs. It's all part of the process. As long as you don't give up, I promise you, you will achieve your result and you're gonna sustain it long term if you incorporate every single thing here. I truly hope that you found this video useful. If you watched this far, I seriously thank you so much, because this is my first video where I'm actually providing some education on YouTube. So as you can tell, probably I've been a bit anxious about recording this, but hey, just like weight loss, sometimes you have to do what you're uncomfortable with and you're gonna end up better on the other end. So yeah, with that being said, make sure to leave me a comment if you have any questions. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on part 2 of this series, because again, part 1 was about mindset shifts, part 2 is going to be about nutrition, everything about nutrition, and part 3 is going to be about training and your activity level. So yeah, subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll talk to you soon.